hell's going on?
Yeah, I just keep it steady on the magic. Do my thing, I'm healing, it's fantastic. If I fall, rise automatic. You ain't know now, you know. I'm the one raise myself like a tree from the roots. West side girl, cause she lit in the coast. East side girl when she speaks to the roots. Stay 100 cause she on with the truth. Been there on struggle, know that it pass. Only going up, yeah, the pain don't last. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. This is take off. Shorty like Brandy, fight like Monica. What you know about her? Baby girl rising, way to the top. Shaking the world, don't expect her to stop. Purpose so great, she get what she got. Follow her step, cause she following God. What you need more, got a heart full of gold. Even at times when it's raining and cold. Ooh, she bout take off. Ooh, she bout.
What up, y'all? It's your girl Hannah, aka Rootside, and you are watching Black Women Wednesday on the Uprooted Network. Y'all, I'm actually really excited right now. They can't tell.
Yeah.
This is really happening. I finally have my hafte, ma'are, shakore, all of those words. Remhai in the studio with me today. Remhai, hello. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm like, wow, wait, I actually thought I was watching, as this was wait, am I watching? Then right before it started, I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Like, it's happening. I'm here. I'm part of
You're
this.
here.
Yeah.
This
So
is so beautiful. This has been a year plus in the making, right? Like a year plus in the making. I was like, listen, Rem, you gonna come on the show. You gonna come on the show, but you can come, you can take your time.
Yeah.
I'll let you take your time, you get comfortable, all of those good things, but you're gonna come on the show. And so the audience is confused as to why I'm doing all this. The reason I'm doing this is because I have known Rem High since I was a child. Like baby, like little kids. We grew up in the Bay Area together. And it's just been so beautiful how we reconnected through this time. We grow up, we go our different ways and stuff, not out of any reason, just life, right? And we came back and I was like in a meeting and I was like, is that Remhai? Like I saw the name and it didn't like click, and I was like, I know that's Remhai. I know, like, and so it's been such a journey since then. Um, like it's wild. A year and some change. Been beautiful, been amazing. We've been working together on different things, but more than that, like we just rebuilt our bond and it's been so beautiful. So I'm so fucking happy you finally agreed to come on the show.
I mean, I am so proud of you. I feel like
Aw.
this last year has been like such a great journey to go on with
Mhm.
you and with other people that we've really grown with. But yeah, I just feel so blessed getting to reconnect and getting to also go through this super pivotal time. Like right
Mm.
now we're living it, but I can't even imagine how we're going to think about this in the future when we reflect, because
Oh yeah.
this is intense, Uh,
Very.
yeah,
Very intense. And I
yeah,
remember like I keep saying it like, bro, it's gonna take us 10 years to process this.
yep,
Like, and maybe I need to shorten that because like, I'd be manifesting. So I'm gonna start saying 5 because like that's a long time. I'm not trying to be struggling for 10 years. But like legit, it's been nuts. So for the audience who isn't understanding, um, we are referring to the Tigray genocide that started it's not even it's not even last year anymore. November 4th of 2020.
yeah,
Um and we have just been advocating and like going hard. Different work groups, different like we have just been trying. Like
yeah,
whatever we can do, we keep trying. And I just remember one of our very early conversations, we were like, it just needs to be like and just that you just had the logic, the strategy, you understood like there's something that's missing, it's not getting done, and here comes free Tigray. Right, like after like a couple of trial and errors with a few different things we were doing, we
yeah,
finally got the free Tigray and I was just like, okay, I remember you sent it in the group, and I was like, hell yeah, launch
Yeah.
that, like, do that, and I'm so fucking proud of you because I'm like, she did it. Like, we're not waiting for anyone. You're just like, nope, I'm gonna just do it. And I was like, all right, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. Free Tigray is definitely well, just to start, I like and love our people from Tigray, and
Mhm,
I love being from Tigray. And I feel like through like all the pain that we've gone through in this war,
mhm,
it's kind of been like an outlet for me to and also a way of connecting
mm,
with this pain. Like, and that's what advocacy has kind of been for me and looked like. Or
yes,
try to kind of feel like what our community needs to hear, and also like just staying connected with like our ancestors and our people, because it's super deep, like all of this
mhm,
doing the purpose and the cause, and that's part of what kind of led to Free Tigray.
mhm,
We were working in different groups, and um, I decided we I'm a co-founder of Free Tigray, and um, we just saw that what the work that I was doing initially wasn't speaking to like the end goal and cause.
mhm,
I'm really like, I will die for this shit. Like, I will go so hard for Tigray. It's like, what does that mean? I want to
mhm,
Tigray. Like, and I think the message and the purpose in Free Tigray really speaks to like the purpose that I'm like really willing to fight for.
yeah,
Um, and I think a lot of people feel that as well. So it's really spiritual. It means a lot. It is something that really started long before we founded it or it was
mhm,
incorporated. It was um, it's something that our ancestors have been fighting for generations. So this is just
mm,
information we're just picking up, and we're just trying to piece together whatever they left, and um,
yeah.
making that make sense in this realm that we're in. This world is changing so much, but
Oof,
yeah,
yes, speak on
yeah,
it. She said we gonna remix Woyane. Like we're gonna and
exactly.
so for people who don't understand what we're saying about Woyane, it's like, it's a revolution, right? It's an ideology of not being subjected or oppressed. And
Yeah,
so when I think of free Tigray, that's what I think of.
yeah,
As no, like free my niggas, bro. Like
yeah,
that's literally what I think. It's not that difficult. Like y'all reading into a lot of stuff. Free them. Let
yeah,
them speak for themselves.
yeah,
Let them live their lives. Stop blocking aid. Stop making excuses. Like you have civilians caught up in a petty war of elites. That's ridiculous. Like it's
absolutely.
just insane. Like this is not how you solve conflict. Like people are not, this is not chess. They're not chess pieces. You know what I mean? And that's really how they're being treated. And so
Yeah.
um yeah, I had my free Tigray hoodie on. I was just hot, but
Yeah, I was gonna wear mine
you
too,
know.
but that's all I wear. So I'm like,
Mhm.
sometimes can I not? Like,
Yeah.
because it's literally my uniforms. I'm like, I honestly have gotten so deep into like fighting for Tigray and fighting to free
Yeah.
Tigray. Sometimes I'm like, what do I like to wear? Because all I wear is like Tigray merch and free
Mhm.
Tigray. Like, I don't know anymore. But um,
Yeah. I surprise myself when I look in the mirror and I'm like wearing something different. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
oh, forgot you look nice.
Yeah, you're like, okay, hold on. I forgot you could dress up, you know?
You know? Oh
No, it's
man.
definitely like I've been collecting bags now. I'm starting to build my purse collection, doing different things that I
She's so trifling. We're not even gonna tell you why we're laughing, but like, yes, she's building her bag
I'm
collection.
building my collection. And
One bag at a time.
one bag at a time, two, three, four. We just collect. But anyway, yeah.
That's no, you're good. I love it. I'm just like still just laughing at that. Okay,
Yeah.
focus. So the part of the reason why I wanted you on is because this whole season is about like, personal development, and like people are always like uprooted. What is that? And I was like, well, what was your journey? Like, what were you uprooted from? you know, because you
Yeah.
can be uprooted in a lot of different ways, right? Like you can be physically moving, you know, mentally trying to shift somewhere, emotionally going to a new place. Like there's a lot of different ways you can be uprooting throughout your life. And so that's what this whole season is really about, is like, can we get into like what that journey actually entails, and
Yeah.
like what are the obstacles. Let's talk about the middle, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Let's talk about the middle, because everyone always wants to talk about the beginning and the
Yeah.
end, but
Yeah.
life is in the middle, you
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
like life is right now in the present. You get to look back for reflection, right? And you get to
Hmm.
look forward so you can dream and manifest. But everything in your actual life is happening in the middle, like right now.
Yeah.
Um, and so that is like my big emphasis for this time. And I love it because I know you, right? And so when I say I'm really proud of you for like literally just being like, no, like I know what I'm doing, you know? And like I know like this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna go do it and I'm gonna go after it. That wasn't an easy decision, right? Like we're talking about, we were in different groups before this. We were working on different projects, and like, and that's the same for in life, right? We're going through different careers, and we're going, you know, moving around, and you know, meeting new friends and trying new things, and we're always, you know, trying to figure out our lives or getting to that vision that we want. And sometimes the biggest step is like just making the decision to do it. Like, you know? And so
Yeah.
I'm interested if you can share about a little bit about, you know, what was the journey up leading to actually, you know, doing Free Tigray. And you can start at any point. Like if you, I don't know that you thought you were going to be a social activist, right? Like I don't know that that was part of your plan. Like maybe you had a completely different plan.
I definitely had a completely different plan.
Okay, talk about it.
Well, I've always had an interest in like social media, advertisements. I studied rhetoric in college, so
Hmm.
that was like in like persuasive speech and writing, and that's always been a passion to me. Like,
Hmm.
love this concept of like understanding like the things that make you happy, make people happy,
Hmm.
and because it's like, what do you want to hear? What do you need to hear? Like, what do you want to see? What do you
Hmm.
want to experience? Like, so how does that translate into like this space? Um, so I think like with my background in school, I was kind of like, I didn't know what it was going to kind of like how it would come into use. Um,
Mm.
but it really did help going into this. But should I share like what I was doing, or like what uh,
Yeah. What were you doing before? What did you think you were gonna be doing instead of this? Like,
well, before the war started, I didn't obviously know that it was going to happen, but a week before I quit my job, and
mm,
it was like the last day, and I was getting ready to embark on a new journey, really for myself. And I had been working super hard, like just stacking up, working three jobs at one point before
mm,
the pandemic,
yeah,
and I was
yeah,
just like in hustle mode. I was like, if I'm gonna make my dreams happen, I need to grind,
mm,
and I every second I could spend, I was like spending time like on the side trying to build out things for my future, businesses,
mm.
things that I wanted. And I was ready to embark on that journey. So I was like, okay, I quit my job. Let me take a week to just it is so funny. I always think about this week, like, damn, like
What happened in this magical week?
and the
Oh
thing,
my God,
even in that
yes.
week, it was kind of a chaotic week. So I was just like,
Mhm.
all right, it's cool. Like maybe I'll take another week, and then the election day comes around. Literally,
Yeah.
I'm with a friend, and then I
Mhm.
get a call and I find out that the war starts. So basically before this, I was on this route of like pursuing my dreams and becoming or an entrepreneur, and
Mhm.
um everything shifted, and I suddenly had to kind of respond. And it's kind of funny how you said like um that I like made the decision for myself, like, yes, I know what I'm doing and I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
That is, you as you know, really difficult for me.
Yeah,
And
that's why I'm really proud of you because that was not easy.
because it's like I need champions around me, like my sister, you,
Mm.
to tell me, yes, you can do it. Yes, you're like, you got it. You know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. And I
Yeah.
finally had to believe in myself and go about it. But the things that, I wanted to do. But this war also like put me in a position where I didn't really have a choice. Whereas before,
Mm.
I used to avoid like really pushing myself and my talent, like bringing all of that out. And I think that's kind of the beauty of all of this, even though this is the most awful, tragic thing to happen. I think the blessing that has come out of it for me is um, really pushing myself to be myself. And
Mm.
yeah,
Own that shit. I like
absolutely.
me. I like me. I mess with me. Like that's yes. Yes. You said something that I really loved. You said I need people you said I need champions around me or I need people championing me. Woo.
Yeah,
The words the words today
yeah.
are hard. That's really beautiful because one, you don't get to just make a decision. Well, I guess you do, right? You get to make whatever decision. But normally we don't just come to a decision of I'm going to quit my job and like invest in myself and do this full force. Usually without a support system, right? Like that makes that jump really hard. Um
Yeah.
you mentioned Mellay myself, so people didn't realize that Mellay is your sister. Newsflash, everybody. Welcome to the party. This is Rem, who we're always talking about. Um, yes, I was like, Rem, I know you in the background. Just come on camera. Like, just come on over here. Just come on. And it's really beautiful. But I'm privy, but you also have a really supportive family,
Mhm.
and network of friends. So when you were making that move of like, yeah, I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna do this. What were those conversations like?
Oh, well, honestly, my parents kind of gave me the traditional, I guess, Habesha parent, or maybe like foreigner parent, like,
Mm-hmm.
don't quit your job without another job. Line, like,
Mm-hmm.
you need to play it safe. You can't, and
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, let me think about this. This job is killing me mentally, like,
Mm.
I'm so stressed. I'm not happy. I'm making really great money, but at what cost?
Cost. Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it. And I also realized I can do whatever I want to do. Like
Ooh.
I can make that future possible. That future
Okay.
I'm envisioning, like that's absolutely possible. So
Yeah.
just because it's not something that they're familiar with, because that hasn't been a reality for their generation as much as it has for mine, doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
I really take that guidance. I have to trust that this what I'm doing is right. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was the response from them. So I was just like, nah, not gonna listen, not. And then everyone else, my friends and family,
Mm-hmm.
like, were all supportive, but I think as the war started, it just kind of became like, okay, you know what? This is actually perfect timing,
Mm.
and like, get into it. Whatever you're doing, keep going. Because so it made it okay that I was putting my time into this for Tigray.
Yeah.
But really,
Yeah.
like, now I'm kind of getting back to myself and those things that I've
Mm.
been working on, and like investing in myself,
Yeah.
because I've given so much of myself this last year, and I haven't really, I've kind of neglected those things that were so important to me
Mm.
before all of this started. So I'm like
Yes.
completely discovering, completely like figuring out, you know, who I am, what I was doing. And yeah, so it was definitely something that, I kind of had to like really trust that I was on, the right path. And I think my friends like you and, some of our people, our family
Mhm.
circle, really like kept me motivated and focused on like the vision, and the
Yeah.
and everything. So it was always helpful to keep me on track and understand like, okay, I understand why this is all happening.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah, our group chat is pretty popping. So I was like,
Absolutely.
we got a great group of women that
Do.
just really are focused, working, getting the job done, working on ourselves. It's a beautiful tribe. One day you guys will maybe hear from us. Like, I don't know, right? That might be coming for y'all.
You know,
Um,
we'll see. We'll
but
see how we feel.
yeah, can we fit it in our schedule? Like that's what I'm gonna say. Between every one of us, everybody has a
Yeah.
different org.
Yeah.
You do realize that, right? Like every single one of us is running a different org.
Wild. That is
Yes.
wild.
But it goes back to like what you said, right? Like you need people around you who are really riding for you, who are supporting you. And like how easy is it for me to support another entrepreneur? Because I know
Yeah,
the struggle. I know the grind. I know the mental shit you're going through. Like, because it's not always about the work. It's about, can you get to the mental space to do the work, you know?
absolutely.
And yeah, that's
That's,
beautiful.
you know,
Yeah,
mentally
girl.
getting past these different hurdles, it's like if you can do that, and I'm realizing that more, it's like I'm looking for like this mental stimulation and inspiration
Hmm.
that like can help get my mind into the headspace that is actually gonna cause me to
Yeah.
produce and move. It's like
Hmm.
for that shift to happen. So yeah, it's absolutely like a mental thing, but I think the more like the better I get with that,
Hmm.
the closer I get to you know manifesting it in a way. I guess manifesting it
Yeah.
is believing it into existence. Also, as you like, when you believe it, you make it happen. It's not even
Yeah.
I'm magically just like wishing this to appear. It's like I believe it, so it becomes my reality, because I'm making it that. Anyway.
Yeah. No, they know. They watch Manifest Mondays. They know. They know what time it is when we talk about this. By now, I hope you know. If you don't know, go watch Manifest Mondays.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but quite literally, like it is that. And I think what you're talking about is like the creative block, right? Like
Yeah.
there becomes like these creative blockages that happen when you're mentally stressed, when you're fatigued, when life's just in shambles, and you feel like your fucking to-do list is a mile long and you're like, bro, I'm just not getting shit done. Like, like it's very easy to like start to go down that spiral and do all these things, and then you have girlfriends like us that will be in a group chat like, girl, shut up. Like we're not gonna hear that. We're just like, that's all you in your head. Did you forget about this? Did you forget about this thing you did? You forgot about that? Oh, did you eat today? You're a human being. Did you shower? Did you take a walk? Like, you focus on the wrong things, sis. Like, do all of
Yeah.
that other stuff, everything, and then the rest will be taken care of. But like, I always tell y'all, like, if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anybody else. Like,
Absolutely.
no. Like,
Absolutely.
I,
And
I don't even trust your skill set. I'm like, nigga, you don't even feed yourself. What you gonna feed me?
exactly. I mean, those conversations that I have with you or anyone else in our group are actually the conversations that get reset me. Like I
Hmm.
have relied so much on those friendships, on those bonds. It's really beautiful. It's so beautiful, um, because in our culture we have this sisterhood, kind of like ingrained into our culture, and how
Hmm.
our mothers show up for us, like in Makala and Tigray.
Yeah.
There's like I just always think about this when there's a holiday, everyone goes to the hair salons, and the hair salons will be crowded with women getting their hair braided. Everyone is braiding. And then I always go in and I'm like, can somebody braid me up? Like I know it's packed in here, but and somebody will be like, yeah, yeah, girl, we got you. Just.
Just
So
sit down. Like we'll get to you.
random. They'll be like, if there's no one, call Aster, call somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they, bring someone, and then she might not even work there, but she's just like, I'll braid your hair. And
Yeah.
I look around and I think, is anyone paying for anyone's hair? Because it feels like this is just a kickback of all of us, like just trying to help
Yeah.
get ready for this holiday. And
Mhm.
that is like the beauty of our culture, because
Mhm.
it's like how we show up for each other in this, how we show up for our sisters,
Yeah.
be their best, help them, be at their best,
Oh
always
yeah.
remind them of their greatness, help them like when their crown is slipping, like,
But like tilt that back a little bit to the left. What you doing?
exactly. And that's what keeps us like, okay, now you're
Mhm.
reminding me who I am, so now I can go,
Yes.
now I can continue.
Yes. Ah, yes. I just had all the flashbacks, like the matching. Okay, let me tell you, we're matching to like from head to toe, head
Mm-hmm.
to toe. We are like there, just
Mm-hmm.
everything is coordinated and nobody is like left out. We got to make sure nope, everybody has to be like this
Yeah.
is your clique, and
Mhm.
it's isn't like it's really like this is your group, take care of your group.
Yep.
Like and it's always like that. Like if anybody is like falling short, you know what I mean, whatever the case is in the group, the whole gang come in. We're like, hold on, bro, what you doing? Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
like we're no, we don't play those games around here. Like this is how we operate. And that's why we're so good now, right? Like with our advocacy,
Yeah.
and just being able to support. Because when I start talking about, and I'm sure you have this experience, right? When you talk about free Tigray, and when, because we wear sweaters, we wear the stuff, and people are always talking to us about what does that mean.
Yeah.
And when you explain that, and you talk about it with everything that we talk, like when you say it out loud, people are like, I can't believe you're going through this. I would be crumbling on the floor and I would be so devastated, and all of these things. And I was like, oh yeah, I feel all of those things. But like there wasn't, I think we operate off of love, you
Yeah.
know? And it's
Yeah.
like the love I have for y'all is what pushes me. And I
Yeah.
think that's what you're like really painting for the people, is that on your worst day, right? You know that
Yeah.
your sis is she gonna cover your back.
Yep.
Like, there's been a lot of times where we're like, go take a break. Like, we have to go tell, like, listen, the rest
Yeah.
of us are still here, you know?
Yeah.
Like, go take a break. And we literally have to cover each other, right? Because we might be small in numbers, but we are not small in spirit. Like,
Yeah.
we are not. We will really ride for each other. So, no, no, no. I love it. Like, we might have to insert some pictures or something to put it on the slide. Because, like, they don't really get it. You have to see,
Yeah.
like, this is really like a tribe. But
Absolutely.
there was something else you said, and I want to kind of go back to, you were talking about feeling like you were coming back to yourself,
Mhm.
like in this season now of rediscovering yourself, reinvesting in yourself and remembering like what were those dreams that were deferred, that you kind of pushed back. I actually have a philosophy and theory that it just manifested differently, because I don't know
Yeah.
what specifically you might have said. You might have had a name, you might have had all these things for your business idea, but you're still an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Absolutely. Yep. 100%. And that's, it's interesting because like you're right. Like I learned so much this year that I have no idea how I would have
mm,
applied this to what I was planning to do successfully.
mm-hmm,
Uh, like without getting this experience first. So of
mm-hmm,
course God is always on time and
mm,
puts things in your life, places, you know the sequence of events of your life
mm-hmm,
like so perfectly, because you like I needed all of the experience and the wisdom that I got from this year, I needed that, you know.
Mhm.
I needed all of this so that I could. Um, a lot of things shifted. One of them is I used to be really money driven. Like
Mm.
came to entrepreneurship, like
Yeah, you said 3 jobs. I was like, "Girl."
I was stacking, you know,
Mm.
and
But
I
you
was
also do live in we skipped this part, so I was like, "Let me help them have some context."
yeah,
San Francisco is she lives in San Francisco. That's one of the most expensive cities in the States,
that's true.
period. So, you kinda almost have to be. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, that's true. But I will say that, I during the pandemic, I was living with my parents, and
Mhm.
I was fortunate enough to have some time to, save up a little bit more.
Mhm.
Living in San Francisco, I still had a lot of different expenses, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I did have an opportunity to save more, and that was really great. But yeah, I think. What was really important to me before this when it came to like starting a business was I want this to grow, I want this to make so much money, I want
Mm.
to build this out. And like it was really kind of like how like a corporation is like money driven, like
Yeah.
when you see what these corporate settings look like on the inside, that's like they're always focused on money. um
Yeah.
and
That bottom
this
line.
Exactly. And this whole experience has completely shifted my purpose in life. Of course, I want to build a successful business and many
Mhm.
successful businesses, but I also really care about my people more now and people
Mm.
in general. I mean, that's always been important to me, but now I've like really neglected this, like, um, like, I don't know, hold I
Like you
had.
left yeah, like you left the rat race.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's more like, let's be successful. Let's make this happen. But that's not, I'm not going to, just like get so caught up in that, dive deep into it and just not really know my truth anymore, not know my humanity.
Mm.
Because when I see, like advocating and then seeing like all of this like luxury lifestyle and stuff and like how the world is moving while I know there's so much suffering feels so detached to me. And that's something
Mm.
I don't think I'll ever be able to fully return to. So to an extent, I'm gonna have to have that balance, but also like be grounded in my purpose. What am I doing this for? Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's really beautiful. I I think I struggle with that too, right? Like that's always I think I had the opposite problem. you
yeah,
know, that
yeah,
like I always give, like I'm just give and like not thinking about me, right? Like I'll hustle, I'll grind and I'll do that and do I'll take care of what was bare minimum for myself and then everything else was just like, oh, somebody needs something, let me be that person. Um and so that's a beautiful thing. I think the word that pops out for me was just reprioritizing, you
yeah,
know? Like we still got bills to pay,
mm-hmm.
y'all. We still got bills to pay. We still got to adult, we still got to do those things, but like you're not doing it like that's your only priority. It's like, oh, I have to take care of that because, I'm an adult and I need to, you know, feed myself and like have a house and stuff. But
Yeah,
it's not your primary focus. The focus is like, does this vision make sense? Does this
yeah,
actually help anybody?
mm-hmm.
Um, or am I just doing this for just the money? Because when you do things for just the money, it's really easy to quit. Like
Absolutely.
it's just really easy to quit. You'd be like, I hate this shit. I don't want to be here no more.
Yeah, and I feel like, of course, work has. I mean, at least for me, my work has to be purpose driven.
Mm,
I have to believe in what I do, like
yeah.
wholeheartedly. If I don't, then I can't do it. I feel like
Hmm.
trapped and like I don't feel like I can fully like show up the way that I need to,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
be my like contribute in the best way to the team or to the vision of that goal, whatever it is. So um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm thinking because you were kind of mentioning earlier, like, right, like you quit your job, it wasn't helping you mentally, right? Like you were just stressing all that, and like as you're unpacking this a little bit further, it's just, can you remember like some of the obstacles you were facing and like what led you to finally be like, I gotta leave?
Yeah. I think what led me to the I gotta leave was, no, I've always like wanted to start a business like for years.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been something that, I've just been like trying, my sister and I have been like really focused on uh like all these different ideas, growing up in San
Yeah.
Francisco, like all the opportunities around us, and then also the opportunities that we had, like it was kind of not like something that we were kind of born into, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the fabric of our family, and like we were raised, like,
Mm.
there was at one point we our parents had an Italian restaurant that's like over 100 years old in North
Mm.
Beach. And like we grew up there,
Yeah.
and we kind of watched like entrepreneurship happen. So like it was all around us. And so that was kind of like something that I always wanted. Like I didn't see, um, any other alternative like life for myself, because that's all I knew watching my family. And it
Mm.
also just was in me. Like I feel like I have these ideas, I have these visions, like I'm an independent thinker, like you can't tell me shit. Like it's just like the way I am. Anyone
Yeah.
who knows me knows like you can't tell me shit. I have a problem, but I think it's a
Yeah.
problem because when it has to be a good problem, because there's if I didn't have this issue, then I would I wouldn't have this like I wouldn't be able to deliver the things that I do, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm passionate and I'm like really believe in whatever it is that, like I want to make
Yeah.
happen, create, or so anyway, all of those things just kind of like bubbled up. And while I was working at that job, I was like, I can't do this. I don't believe in the purpose of this, like what I'm working for. I don't truly believe in it. And
Mm.
so this doesn't feel meaningful. And I also know that I want to build something. I want to build it from scratch. I want to make it happen, So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what kind of led me to um, leaving and like starting a new journey, um,
Mm-hmm.
which has brought us to this day. Which I'm like, wow, it's been a year.
Girl, yeah, it's been a year and some change. Like we are from November 2020, we are in February, the end of February now. Yeah, like yeah, it's been a journey. And like I think what you were talking about is kind of like what I had experienced as well. Is like it's almost like your spirit is just dying. Like, you're like, this is just like sucking my soul. Like, did you also experience like you would just be later and later to work and not care, and you just start procrastinating, and you're like, just fire me, bro. Like I just wish somebody would say something, so I just fire me. Like
We got to
you know
definitely got to that point.
Bro, I mean, like, people are just like, how? I'm like, it's not that I'm a lazy worker. I just don't want to work for you. Like, this is stupid. Like, this is
Yeah,
a waste of my time.
yes. I poured my all. I like this quote that says, uh, "You do the way you do anything is the way you do
Mm,
or everything, or
mm-hmm.
is it the way you do everything is the way you do anything?" I don't know which way it is, but
I think it's the first one. The way
okay,
you do anything is the way you do everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that is like I really care about how I show up in spaces. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel sick when I don't like I'm not like passionate or proud of like that thing
Yeah.
that space that I'm in, because I can't contribute in a way that feels like my best. So I feel like I'm letting everyone down,
Mm-hmm.
And that's also a terrible feeling. So it's like you really have to over time, what I've learned is like I have to like have awareness of how I feel in different things and honor that.
Mm.
Honor your intuition when your intuition is like, I don't like this. you know?
Speak about it. Speak
Yeah,
about it because we be lying to ourselves. We lie
absolutely.
to ourselves all day long.
Yeah,
Listen, you
yeah.
know you didn't want to do that shit. You know you didn't want that job. You know you didn't like that person. You know, like there's so many things that we ignore ourselves for. So I like that. So you actually need to sit with your feelings. Like you
Yep.
need to you but in order for you to do that, you got to be still long enough. Like like you got to actually be like, I hate life. Da, da, da. Like but then you got to sit and think like, well, what do you really hate about it? You know?
Exactly. And it's usually something you know.
Mhm.
You're not that lost. You're like,
No. No. You're not that lost. You just don't want to be found.
exactly. And it's like we got to address those things in our life because I guess one thing right now that I'm focused on, at least this year, is like honoring my intuition, getting closer to it, and
Mhm.
um, it's just feeling out what feels good and what doesn't, you know? Um,
Mhm.
and it's been helpful having conversations with friends about these things that like if I'm kind of bothered by something or an issue in my life and I'm just like, what is this, like why is it, and I talk to a friend, like they might help me realize like it sounds like what you're saying is you don't like the situation, so maybe think about that. And
Yeah.
that will help me be like, actually, you're right. Maybe I should consider removing myself from that space, removing myself from this, situation, whatever
Mhm.
it is. And like once you start making those decisions, like you feel more like yourself, because
Mhm.
you're honoring something that's just not sitting right in your spirit. So it's a simple shift that is so impactful. And I'm
Yeah.
really, trying to practice that every day. But yeah.
Yeah. That's how I feel. It's like, like for what? Like, why do we do this? Like, like, why are we stressing ourselves out? Like, what we do? Why are we lying to ourselves? Like, you
Yeah.
can tell yourself the truth and still go to work,
Hmm.
but at least you're being honest with yourself. And then it
Exactly.
make then you can at least be like, no, I don't really care. Like,
Hmm.
that's what I noticed. Like, my biggest shift in that is just, oh, you really do just show up authentically everywhere. Like, no, I'm gonna just say it how I thought. I'm not about to sugarcoat it for you. I'm not about to beat around the bush. I'm not, and you get to like feel more like yourself again and like you feel authentically yourself like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I remember this is who I wanted to be. Like, uh,
Yeah.
so that's hella beautiful. I love this. Okay, my my question, you're doing great by the way because we're almost at the end. um
Oh.
I know, right? And I have a couple questions that I like to ask now at the end. um One, I hope people grab these gems, right? Like staying authentic to yourself, having a support system that really believes in you, but also tells you the truth, right? Is like I'm like, we're going to tell you about yourself too. Like, we're going to lift you up, but we're going to tell you about yourself. We're going to be a mirror.
Hmm.
And like, those things are important. And then just aligning yourself, right, with what you're actually passionate about, what you actually love, and stay true and authentic to that, because there's space for all of it to exist, right? And so, with all of this, and just overcoming those mental obstacles of choosing yourself, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Um, what advice would you want to give to your younger self or to younger people who might be more towards the beginning of this type of understanding?
Hmm. Wow.
Hmm.
I think I would tell my younger self, or the advice I would give, and
Yes.
my younger self would listen because,
Yeah.
I don't listen.
Maybe that's the advice. Listen
Exactly.
more, bro.
Exactly. That might listen, girl. No, I'm just, I think the advice I would give would be to honor your intuition and things that
Mm,
you're feeling. Trust yourself. Give yourself space to really like reflect on, you know, um, your experiences. Don't rush
mhm.
past things that are painful.
Mm.
Take your time because it will come up later and you're not gonna like it. So always, yeah,
Every
yeah.
time.
Take
Every
your time.
time. Like I'm just like, even this
It,
week, my all my journals this week, it will come back.
yeah, absolutely. So really take your time, honor your truth. This is your experience, and it is beautiful. So be easy on yourself.
Mhm.
Don't put too much pressure. It's okay. It's okay. Like, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and that's something I haven't even begun working on. But um I
We
still
gotta
want
give.
myself to know, relax. It's okay.
My favorite thing is like, oh, let's take a deep breath.
Mm,
Like we're gonna
yeah,
take several.
yeah,
Let's take several. Okay, you want me to count you down? We're gonna count because
yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
I had to do it right now because
Mhm.
there's
Go
something about
ahead.
breath that really just clears out. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
gotta do it. And we forget. We need to breathe. You have to breathe. It's
Yeah.
here.
I don't know if people follow Jay Shetty. I think that's how you say his last name. Super
Yeah.
dope. If you haven't heard of him, for the audience sake, he is someone who he does this too. He does life coaching, mindfulness, all of these things. But he studied as a monk, for some time. Like he did the same thing, right? He left his business, his corporate like status, whatever he was doing, and he went to go become a monk, or study under them, and it has since just continued to do that and try to transform people. But he was talking about in an interview that the first thing that he remembered seeing were like little children in the I think they're called monasteries, and it was like little kids teaching each other how to breathe, and
Yeah.
like we're going to focus on the breath and we're going to work on that. And I think something around the logic of it is like, what's the one thing that you have with you all the time, from the beginning to the end, is your breath, right? Like, how do you know you're alive? You're breathing, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're not breathing, right, after a while you're done. So
Yeah.
he's like, your breath is the thing that's always with you, gives you life, and it's going in and out of your body, and it's going everywhere. Like when you're stressed or when you're tired, with those things, right, you stop breathing. Like
Yeah.
you breathe slower, right? And so if you want to control your body and you want to control your nerves and you want to control everything else, you got to control your breath, because
Yeah.
that's how you fix that. So that's also why meditation, right? And just like those type of exercises are so helpful, because you have to focus on the breath. You have to get to calm,
Yeah.
so that you can actually let your brain start to unravel and like
Exactly.
pull together. So
I actually used to do this yoga that was like with breath work, and it was
Mhm.
this really like it was like intense breath work, but
Mhm.
after you feel this like relief, or at least I did, that
Oh yeah.
was so beautiful, so powerful. And I didn't realize that just breathing could give me this mental clarity that did.
Mhm.
So yeah, you'd be surprised how much you can do for your brain. Your brain needs oxygen, you know,
Yep.
go outside and breathe the air, the fresh air that we have for free.
Mhm.
And help your brain. That's food for your brain.
It is. It's
And
it's everything you need. It's everything you need in any moment. Because people are like, you're really calm, and like you just handle things well. You just you do well under pressure. I was like, yeah, a lot of that was survival. A lot of that was training. All of that. But now I can say, oh no, like it's really hard for you to get me riled up. Because like as soon as I feel like my body is getting riled up, I'll be like, hold on, wait a minute. Like I will pause myself. Like
yeah,
I'm like, no, no, no. You guys can do whatever you want. You want to be a chicken with your head cut off? That's you. But me over here, I'm chilling. Like I'm not. I just don't. I'm not here to play those games with people. I don't have that kind of energy anymore in me.
yeah.
Um, you're like, the further you get in your journey, the more selective you are with your energy,
Oh yeah,
right?
facts.
So,
Oh yes, that is one thing that is like non-negotiable now. It's like I am only around the people I love, and I'm so grateful for having so many wonderful, amazing people. I was supposed to see you this morning. I didn't get to see you,
it's
which makes
okay,
me sad because I had to get some rest. But
but you
um,
need it.
I know, but I love spending time with you.
Aw.
So, like. there's some people who just bring so much love into my space, and I can share like these beautiful connections with. And I think like now it's like, if it's not that, then no, I don't have time, you know? I just don't.
Yes. No, I know, and the feeling is very mutual, but to the point too, right? Like you need rest, and that's okay. Like I'm
Yeah.
not mad at it. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
If you taking care of you, that's what I want you to do.
Yeah. I know.
Like,
I know you do. That's why I was like, she's gonna be proud of me because this
yeah,
makes months like I'm picking up on the tips as we go along. I'm having self awareness, like, what do I need right now? Because I feel like I need rest. Okay, I
yes,
need to make a good decision, a responsible decision, so I don't feel, stressed
yeah.
over, exerted, and
Because
yeah,
then what would be the alternative? You're sitting there eating upset, like stressed about the work that you should be doing or whatever it is that you're. It's
and then
better for you. Like you're not going to be fully present and invested and really enjoying yourself because that's not really where you want to be, like in
exactly,
the moment.
yeah,
So honor
exactly.
that.
Oof, that's what, like, would anyone be mad at that fact? It's like
Listen,
I want
you,
anyone in my space to be happy where they are. I want myself to also be happy where I am at all times. Like, that's the point. We're here to share love. Like, everyone should be really happy to be in this space and present. If not, like, you got to take care of yourself. And that's
yeah,
that's wonderful. I'm happy that you're doing that. It's so
yeah.
simple.
It is. It's a message for everybody in life. So as I promise you, I'm
Yeah,
like, yo, if you are not happy and you're cranky and you're all those things, just take a nap. Like I also
take
subscribe to the nap ministry.
yeah,
And it's literally just rest. Like you deserve rest. Like you
yes,
don't
yes,
need to slave. If anything
yeah,
in this pandemic, what we have learned is the majority of the shit we do is what non-essential. Like
fact,
non-essential as hell, like non-essential. So I really want to I really want people to understand that like the most of the stuff you stress about isn't actually necessary.
yeah,
That email that didn't get sent, it's not safe. Like unless the email that you sent was the UN trying to get food to Tigray, that you are not like you're not going to die off of that. Like there, you have to start like being more realistic about things. Like I think we try to make too much life and death and too much importance on it, and it's like that's not actually how this works.
yeah,
So I'm
exactly.
like, please rest and relax.
Oh yeah,
um and this brings us to our last question. Are you
yay.
ready? Because I always ask, and everyone, you watch the show, but y'all always forget. So Remhai, with
Yeah.
all of this that you're learning, with everything that you're doing, and you're doing amazing, um, what is it now that you want your legacy to be?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Legacy.
I know y'all always forget. I just am like, I don't even know. I don't even bother telling y'all no more. I'm like,
It's such a powerful question, though. Um, I want my legacy to be, um, I think, a continuation of a couple of things,
okay,
like
tell us.
helping others,
Okay.
and making um, making that, um, kind of like introducing that culture more and more to the world, you know,
Mm,
so that we can continue to support each other because we really need each other, Um, that um, I also hope that my legacy be, um, that I could, I helped, share this beautiful magical place called Tigray with the world, and they could become familiar with this amazing culture, amazing people, that I'm so lucky to be a part of, and helping to put us on the map, helping to free our people. Really, like, that is so important. That's really become like what I'm dedicating my life to. So hopefully, those things, I think. Um, And hopefully our children can pick up and continue along, and we can set that up for them, you know. um, but
Yeah.
yeah, just making sure that we're not forgotten, you know, our purpose is heard, our stories are heard, like every single person in Tigray, you know, that's died from this awful, you know, year. It's like we need to make sure that their lives are not forgotten. What was the meaning of, you know, their life and the sacrifice that they made? You know, that's
Mm-hmm.
super important to me, and I'm like so blessed to be able to be in a position right now to help share that and translate that, and
Mm-hmm.
make sure it isn't missed in all of this that's happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, I love this. I love it. I do. I really do because I've known that this has been your heart posture from the beginning, right? And I'm also very selective of the people that I work with, the people that I champion, and those things too. Because if you're not really about the work, if you're not really about helping people, if you don't want to be a nice person, you don't want to like make other people feel nice, then I don't really want to be around you, right?
That,
Like I really, really don't. And I think that what I can say about you is that like I really never sense that. Like I never sense that this is a me show, right? Like people don't know you like that for a reason because you really are the definition of like real G's move in silence. Like like it's like like lasagna. Some people don't know the rest of that line, but it's like like I have seen it, right? Like, cause, and that's why I also pull y'all onto the show because y'all are some silent killers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just like because you so focused on actually the end result, the goal, and it is never about you, and you never place yourself in that position to make it about you, and that right there just tells me one, you've already achieved what you're trying to do. You're already helping people, right? And you're already putting them in position and enlightening and doing all of those things because your heart doesn't have anything else in it. Like
yeah.
you don't have an evil bone in your body, right? Like I can't say that about a lot of people, but like you don't actively try to help, you don't actively try to hurt people, right? You take accountability and responsibility, too much of it sometimes, right? Like too much of it where it's like you're trying to be, because you're trying to help people and all the time putting them there, right? Like you just not, you're never ever trying to hurt them. Like it's just the opposite end, and like in a world where that's not what I see every day. In a world where people take out their trauma and pain on other people, when I see people like you, I'm like, oh, you got to keep that around. Like you got, that's somebody you got to keep around because that's someone you can trust.
I
I
love
don't need to know everything else. I just know that your heart is good and it's pure and it's beautifully placed, right? And like we're so lucky to like have someone like I'm over here getting emotional because I'm like, we're so lucky to have someone who thinks like you, right? Who loves like you, who shows up like you. Like for our people.
I
I
thought I was
know.
gonna make
I
it, and
know. I thought I was too. I thought I was too, but this part's never planned. This part's never planned and I never know how emotional I'll get. Um but it's just so beautiful, right? Like it's so beautiful to see that in the worst storm, you know, of our life. Like you come in and you're like a little rainbow. you know? I know, like it's like, oh, like just like a little rainbow of sunshine. So, woo, we don't gather our tears here. So those
man,
people who are watching are like, ooh, no, that I promise you guys, that's not rehearsed. This nothing is like I really was just like what, because your legacy was like, I was like, oh, she already did that. Like, I was like, she already did that. So it's like, and I can say that about certain people, and it's like someone needs to remind you, like, baby girl, you're already doing it. You're doing it now. You don't need to wait 20 years. You're doing it right now. It's just in 20 years, the scale that you're doing it at, the magnitude that you're doing it at is going to be much better because right now you're putting in the work, you know? right now you're putting yourself in position to like be the best version of yourself, to learn what you need to learn, and like to gain the confidence you need to like manage a platform of that stature, right? So that's what I'm gonna manifest for you, because your success is my success, right? Your success is Tigray's success, right? Like, and that's how we really have to see each other and love on each other. And if that's the only thing people get from this conversation, then I feel like we did our job.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Yes.
that's how we move, just so you know. That's why we're able to grow and be great. It's because that's how we operate. You know, we support each other, you know, we're building together. It's something really special.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you do with everybody, you know, but um, it is something very special. And I'm so, so grateful. And I tell you all the time privately
Yes.
and how proud I am all the time. Like, I am so, so proud of you and everything that you're doing. You inspire me always to get up, you know, to keep going, to that it is possible. And you're that for so many people in our community, and the role that you've played as a healer in the movement um, has been really, really, really so important. And it's difficult because it's like this has been a genocide, which is not something any of us were ready for, you know, but you consistently provided a space for us to talk, to hear things, to go through our pain. And it's like, we needed that. You know, you made sure we had this community available to us. And I don't know, you know, how we would have gotten through if we didn't, those dark days, those really tough days, you know, when it was rough and we were all just lost and crying, and like you just picked up and, you know, something in your spirit, you'd be like, something in my spirit, you know,
Told me to
called
come
me to,
talk to y'all.
and it was always right on time. And then we have a cry sesh on live where you're crying,
Mhm.
but we're all crying in the back, you know.
Yeah.
And that is like how we got through it. You know, we were not like, we didn't have a perfect plan for all of this, but we figured it out on the way and helped in any way that we could, you know. And
Mhm.
I just, you know, I want you to know how grateful I am for you. Always, every time I think about that, I'm like, man, this last year, that was so important. So you did so much for your people. You should be so proud of yourself. Just
Oh,
exactly what you just said.
yeah, I know. I know. I was like, oh, this is my turn. I gotta sit here and take it
Yeah,
quietly.
that's exactly what you have done as well. You know, you have so many great, incredible things that you're building that are coming, and but you've already achieved all that, you know, you're hoping to be, all of those dreams and goals, like you've already done them and more, you know. So
Yeah.
it
I know we're over here. Ooh, boohooing. Okay. No,
was
I appreciate you having it. Thank you. I tell people all the time. I sent Mellay a message too, and I was like, half the shit I do. If Mellay and Rem didn't hype me, I would not be doing it for y'all. Like I promise you. I'm like, if I ever need like encouragement, I'm like, let me send this to Mellay. Let me send this to Rem. And I'll
that's
put it in the group, you know, I'll put it in the group chat because I'll be like, okay, there, that's the reaction I am gauging, you
yes,
know,
you're
because that's
definitely
who I, yeah, like I'm like, let me see, because if they fuck with it, then I know it's good.
oh yeah.
Um, and I just, yeah, it's been so beautiful and amazing, and that's why I was so excited to do this show and this episode with you, because I was like, people need to know, like people need to know there are fucking silent ass warriors like fighting on your behalf, you know. And it's like, don't ever feel like you're alone. There's people like Rem in the back that are like knocking niggas out for you, like, you know. And it's just, people don't know that, they don't know that, and like they need to know that they're extremely blessed. Like, you know. So we just got to share that with them. So y'all, I'm gonna stop the crying here. We're gonna stop all this happiness here. And y'all, that was Black Woman Wednesday. That was Black Woman Wednesday. We got our girl Rem in here. Go ahead.
It is official. I finally made it on Black Women Wednesday. Like, wow, it
Yes,
really happened.
yes, you have finally made it. Make sure y'all, if this no, this is who's behind Free Tigray. This is the heart and the spirit that's behind this, and that the just know the person is just as beautiful as the message. So I want people to understand that. Make sure you're following Free Tigray. Get your hoodie, okay?
Yep.
Okay, get your
Remember to
hoodie.
it's
Like,
they go to Tigray to freeing
this
Tigray.
this has been warned, okay? Like by the time we done with
I'm
this, it's gonna be in pieces.
I'm sending you a couple. Don't
I
you worry.
know it's gonna be in shambles, but that's okay. That's what I want. That means I'm working, right? Um, y'all make sure y'all are getting that. Make sure that you are supporting, understanding what's going on. But more than anything, please take the message, take the inspiration, take the love and the light. We are so invested in everyone doing better and doing amazing. And so, y'all, welcome, welcome back to Uprooted. Welcome back to Black Woman Wednesday. This was a beautiful session, and we got more coming. So, y'all have a good night. Peace out.
Bye.